Hey there. So this video is going to be about banded hip mobility and the flow-on effects that can have above and below the hips. There was one of the boys I used to go to school with, Brad Searle, asked for a video to help him with his hips and his knees. So even though there's nothing specific about the knees and what we're about to do, if we can tidy up the tension that we maintain in our hips, that can have a huge flow-on effect below, with the first stop being the knee. So what we want to do is, in a controlled and safe way, we want to maintain enough tension to hold our spine in place while letting these bands work their magic and unlock some of the tension that we accumulate. So the first thing we're going to do, we're going to pull our hip three ways through this video. The first is forward, the second is back, and the third is out. So we're going to pop this band right where the arse meets the hamstring, for lack of a better term. And I'm going to squeeze and brace and pop the banded leg behind and bring it down. Now you notice I'm in a forward hinge position. I'm keeping this glute active, keeping my abs on. What I'm not doing, and what you see a lot of people do to try and get a little bit more tension, they lean back on their spine. But if we're trying to improve our spinal health, which so much of what I do is about, the last thing we want to do is be throwing ourselves back when all we need to do to get more tension is hold this position and just slide back. With a band this thick, a little goes a long way. So just on that, when you're selecting which band to use, I can feel this band pulling my hip forward at the moment. If it's pulling my hip forward and I'm not going back to the other side of the fence there with a tiny little band, then it's good. This band's never going to snap under this tension. If I've got one of my smaller ones and I take it back until I feel it pulling my hip forward, it's going to be too much. So thick is good, whatever you can handle. So from here, we're going to hold this position for roughly 2 minutes. If you've got the time, more is better, but 2 minutes will normally be enough to give you a change. Once that 2 minutes is up, I'm going to hold exactly the same position, and I'm going to work up to the top of a lunge, down to a touch, up to the top, down to a touch. Working through somewhere around 10 to 15 of those, and then from here, I'm going to pull in and stay on the same hip. This time the band's going right up over the pelvis. And I'm going to take the same position. So now the band is pulling my hip back. I'm in that same forward hinge position. I'm bracing and squeezing. Everything else is identical except the band position has changed slightly, and now we're pulling at a different angle. I'm going to hold that position for roughly 2 minutes, more if I've got time. And then from there, do the same thing. I'm going to work through that same rep range of lunges. Big squeeze and brace, staying in that forward hinge. Down and pause, up and pause. Once you've finished your reps there, both hands and both knees, and we take the banded leg out to the side, and I'm going to swivel around now. If you're in this position and you're under a lot of tension and you try and do this standing up, you're a big chance of being a YouTube sensation. You're going to fly back into the rack. Stay low, gravity's your friend. Now from here, I can feel that pulling my hip out. I've got adequate tension. If I don't have enough tension, I don't need to stand up. All I have to do is shuffle over. We're going to hang out here for our 2 to 5 minutes, however long we've got. Then we're going to start to work through a floss. So my head and chest is up. I'm slightly hyperextended through the spine, it's intentional. Then I'm going to tuck the head, straighten the front leg. Feel a big stretch through my tight hamstrings because I deadlifted for the first time in 200 years yesterday. Head and chest up. And we're going to work our way through 10 to 15 of those. Once it's done, back into that position, crawl back safely, and we're out. Now if you want to see if this is for you, the reason why we've done all three stretches before changing legs, if I can feel a distinct difference from the hip that I've stretched to the hip that I haven't, then this is obviously something that's beneficial for you. If you don't feel that there's much of a change, you probably want to look elsewhere for what mobility drills you're going to do, because there's plenty out there. If you've got any questions, hit me up. Brad, I hope this was helpful.